Can I say that on YouTube? That's not what I wanted to happen. I'm not listening to that. There is a tree branch. It's beginning to feel a lot like an oven, 'cause it's toasty as crap in here. Let's see if we can bleed some hot air out of here. And I'm gonna get the air conditioning going. Welcome back, people of internet land. I hope you're all doing well. Never fails, as soon as I start recording, some source of noise will pop up. That is perfectly normal. So, today is Tuesday the 9th, the afternoon to be specific, and I am about to go to high school. But first, as usual, let's go out here and dive under the hood real quick. I did not film Monday or Tuesday morning because I had a training driver, and basically somebody asked in the comments, they said, Lane, I didn't know you were a trainer, and my answer to that person is, I'm not. But what happens is, that's not what I wanted to happen. Come back here. Man, now my dipstick's gone on vacation. Come back here. Right, as I was saying before that happened, no, I am not a trainer, but what happens is, after they pass their test to get their bus license, they have to have a certain number of hours of driving with students supervised. And so the guy I had, he's not driving any routes, but he's getting his license so that he can go do field trips and whatnot, primarily for the band, the high school band. So I started to do a morning vlog this morning and then didn't, because I didn't realize he was driving with me this morning. So I am back behind my own wheel. Let's get this thing going. I will walk back there in a second, show you something I found. Alright, throw the lights on. Active faults, here we go again. Gotta scroll through this menu real quick, hold on. Active faults 0. It just said 1. Now it's back to 0. I have been getting the bulkhead warning more, and now that several of you explained to me actually what it meant, it means I'm having some sort of electrical issue going on. Yay! Fun days. Good start. Wait for oil pressure. There we go. We'll go to fast idle. Smooth as butter. Both air tanks are good. Oil pressure stable. We got 12.3 on the volts. 12.4. Fuel and def are good. Temps are fine. I gotta wait for this thing to get back up to 13, at least when I kick the air conditioner in, and that's because if I kick the air conditioner in while it's below 13, the alternator starts to struggle. There we go. 13.4. So we'll go full air condition, strobe can come on, kick the compressor in, there we go, and I'll push the fans up. Nice. Right. I still have this. Nobody ever reported one missing. So that probably will be going home with me. And I've also been having to keep tabs on how many students I have. So at the middle school in the mornings, I write down how many I picked up on my route, and then how many I drop off at the high school. So like my high schoolers get counted twice. That's exactly what they want. I'm not sure why, but that's exactly how they wanted us to do it. So we've been doing this week, and the usual check pre-trip and post-trip checklist. So I will stick that back in there. I did get another can of gum, and I did find out because the perk of not driving your own bus but still being on it is that you get to go search around for noises that you hear while the bus is moving that I normally can't do because I'm stuck in the driver's seat. So let me punch that in and I'll go show you what I mean. There's one that rattles in here, and I've tried reaching in there, I've tried figuring out what it is, cannot figure it out. And it's only at 47 miles an hour. And that's because at about 47 miles an hour, the bus has a very subtle, like, left-right oscillation. I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. I do need to sweep. I haven't done that yet. The other thing I figured out is fire exit, back one row. This seat cushion is the culprit of most of the squeaks. So sometimes I was able to walk back here and kick it and get it to shut up. Most of the time I couldn't. So what I'm probably gonna do is when I start dealing with seat noises, this will be the first one I go to. And then the second ones I go to would be kind of these four as a group. They seem to be the mischief seats. Set those air condition. I'm really irritated that they have 2 vents back there and not 4 like 99 did. Speaking of 99, I saw her fueling the other day and she's out sparing somewhere. 02 is right here, 1216's over there getting ready to go. So yeah, let us go outside and we will take a walk around. I'll throw that to open strobes on, punch that, come up here, pressurize the door, and whack my watch into the GoPro in the process. Everything up front looks good. This marker light has been giving me issues. It stays on most of the time, and then every once in a while it decides to turn itself off for no apparent reason. Do I understand it? No. We'll shut those off. We'll shut those off. Now, many of you have pointed out that since I got my new bus, I have not had my wooden cross over there. I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is I haven't been able to find it. The good news is I went and bought a replacement-ish. And I didn't realize how expensive this thing was when I got it until she rang it up at the register. So, I better not lose this one. This one better last me a long, long time. But I'm thinking maybe I could just hang it, maybe loop the chain through there and just hang it right there. Let's see, actually. Let's see if I can do that. Maybe. I'll go with it like this for now, and if it becomes problematic, then I'll maybe put a piece of tape right here. I may have to do that. We'll see. All right, the time has come for us to depart. Unfortunately, my glasses have decided that now is the perfect time to act stupid. So I will sort that out real quick, or attempt, I should say. I think that's good enough for now. Yeah, that'll have to be fine. The problem is, I one time dropped my glasses and they happened to land exactly on the outermost point of the lenses, which happens to be directly in front of my eyeballs. So they have permanent scratches. So I'll think they're dirty, but they're actually not. It's just my own misfortune being weird. All right, so there we go. Everybody that's been asking, I now have a cross in my bus again. I'm still kicking myself that I can't find the other one. And I'm also kicking myself for not checking the price on that one before I got it. But anyway, it is what it is. And I already know I'm gonna have to tape it because I'm not listening to that all day. Who is this? And why is he not looking where he's going? Make sure my dash brightness is all the way up. I'm not sure if the training driver dimmed it or not. I couldn't really see. I alternated during the route between sitting in that seat or standing there and giving him directions, which he pretty much had it figured out by the second day. But it is currently 85 degrees outside according to this, but it feels like the humidity is slightly lower. Now I don't have a way to see that on here without messing with it a bit, so I'm gonna chalk that up to a wild guess, or either there's just a nice breeze blowing. But Monday morning and Tuesday morning did not feel near as hot. It was very nice and breezy t-shirt weather the past 2 mornings, which I very much appreciate considering, you know, the climate down here is pretty close to hell. You'll remember in the last video I was talking about bugs getting on the windshield because I had one hit right there. I'm not sure how well this GoPro's picking it up, but they are everywhere. Everywhere. Or splotches on the windshield. I can't seem to fix that either, which is a little bit irritating. Actually, no. That wiper blade needs to be longer because it cut. Do you see this like V shape right here? Like that is perfectly in my line of sight. And the wiper doesn't get it. The wiper's not long enough. The wiper only starts there and then comes up here. I think it needs to be longer. I don't much care about the wiper on that side, which is why there's a bunch of bug spots over there, because that wiper won't reach that. But I'm not looking over there usually unless I'm looking at the mirrors. So that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the stuff right here in front of me that I can't see through because, you know, bugs apparently like to kamikaze into the windshield. Can I say that on YouTube? I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Oh well, we're about to find out. Red light, red light, red light, red light. Yeah, I did pick up, I don't know if I said it in the last video, I picked up another roll of my blue paper towels because the old roll ran out and they're a lot nicer. Red light, red light, red light, red light. The air conditioning behind me is kind of loud. My next service date, according to that sticker, is September 18th. Today is the 9th. So, if I'm counting that correctly, I think that means the 18th is next week. I don't think it's the week after. I think it's next week. Now, are you going to be a pain? Because you're looking like you're turning, but you're not actually turning. Are you actually going to do this to me? I can't stand when cars use false blinker. As in, like, they leave their blinker on. Oh, now she's realized and she's turned her blinker off. You fool. I had my blinker on first, bro. I'm going. I wouldn't do that if I didn't have a left turn coming up, but I kind of have to make that turn. Otherwise, I get royally messed up. Thanks to how the roads work here. Or I should say how the roads don't work here, because they're kind of stupid. Okay, yeah, I've got to figure out a way to make this thing sit still. Will it reach that? Not really. Let's see if while I'm sat here I can get my duct tape. Maybe, if I can reach it. I really don't want to put duct tape up here because it leaves that like residue. And this bus doesn't have any duct tape residue up here. Huh. Yeah, let's not do that, because I really don't want to have to clean duct tape off of this bus and have it leave that weird sticky stuff. Because if you remember, like, you see all this is clean up here. I don't know if you remember, 99 had duct tape residue like all down the top of up here. And it was really irritating. There are, I think, some kind of cleaner substances that you can get to like get rid of that stuff. But I'm thinking maybe some black electrical tape. Right. Maybe there. Maybe. Because then it'll blend in with this, and as far as I know, it won't leave a sticky spot. Fingers crossed. Turn on this clicker counter so I have it ready. All of my kids were massively confused when they got on the bus and I was not driving and I was sat right there. And they asked me the question, they said, "Is he replacing you?" And I said no, which he's not. But it reminded me of something funny that happened. So you guys know 201 Dave, Plus Fives, whatever you want to call him. Back when he first started driving, he did his supervised driving with me as well. And the kids asked me, they said, "Are you leaving? You know, is he replacing you?" And I said, "No, we're just training." The funny part of that is, immediately after he finished his supervised driving time, I got really sick. And guess who was subbing my route? Dave was. So to the perspective of my kids, it looked like, oh, he's training a new driver. But he says he's not going to leave. All of a sudden I disappear, the new driver is driving my bus. So they thought I just left them. And then a couple days later I came back and I'm like, I didn't go nowhere, calm yourselves. They're like, where the heck you go? I'm like, one of y'all gave me coughs and sneezels. And as we all learned from Thomas the Train, coughs and sneezels spread diseases. And if your childhood wasn't good enough to know that reference, you have my sympathy. There's a vision for all you crazy people that like those. Somebody asked me in the comments, they were telling me about a district somewhere that went full electric. And they said, you know, how would I react? Will you shush? How would I react if that happened here? Would I stay? And knowing, you know, the people in charge and the inner workings of how our district operates, etc., my initial gut reaction to that question was, you know, that's probably never going to happen here, and if it does, it's going to be a really, really, really long time from now. mainly because electric buses, one, don't have the range for what we need. Two, we don't know how expensive they're going to be when the batteries conk out. You know, how expensive are they going to be to replace?
122 to 187.
Three, they seem to have fire problems. Four, we have absolutely no infrastructure for electric vehicles. So the amount of money it would take us to get said infrastructure and the buses themselves would be an absolute financial nightmare, and we're already on budget cuts. And you know, it's our buses all the time are doing backcountry routes with long range stuff, and we get field trips and athletic trips and stuff going to the other side of the state, and they're pulling, you know, 8 hours driving time, 9 hours driving time, and you know, they can do it in one tank of diesel, whereas an electric bus, you would have to do it, you know, you'd have to stop and do really long charge sessions, which I'm assuming would get irritating. So, you know, it's one of those things where it is not at all feasible for us. I understand some places want to do it, and that's totally fine. But to answer the hypothetical question, if it happened here, like suppose tomorrow I walk in and we have an entire fleet of electric buses, am I gonna leave? No, I wouldn't. I would stay, most likely. One, to keep making school bus videos. Two, because just try out something new, I guess. And three, because we're already on a driver shortage, I don't want to make it worse. And four, because I would at least want to wait and see if living with electric buses was as bad as I think it would be before actually pulling the plug. But the good news is, for me anyway, the likelihood of that actually happening is immensely low. Immensely low. Will you stop trying to break out of the glass, please? I'm gonna take a turn too sharp and have this thing just bust out a window. How about we don't do that? I have also noticed, you know, bearing with all of the squeaking and noises behind me, I have noticed that 171 rides a lot better with a full load of high schoolers. Now, I know a lot of you are probably face palming as I say that, and you're thinking, well, no crap, Lane, because you're giving weight to the suspension and it's gonna ride smoother. Yes, obviously, but I did not know that the effect of that was going to be as noticeable as it is. On 99, it was not, I mean, you could notice it, but not really. The bus kind of rode the same empty or full. Whereas this bus, for whatever reason, is really loud and obnoxiously bumpy when empty. In the tail, I mean, the tail is really bumpy. But when I get a full load of high schoolers, I mean, obviously it gets quieter because the seats aren't squeaking. But the back end rides a lot smoother. And like I say, you're probably slapping yourself and going, well, no duh, it's gonna be smoother, and I know that, but I just underestimated how much smoother it was gonna be. Now that being said, the bus still will not drive in a straight line. I have not figured that out. But it's not drastic enough for me to think it would be problematic. So, we're almost there. Turn in after this little Honda. This wrench was right there in the, well, right about here in the road. And I thought it was a piece of scrap metal. So I pulled off right here and went back there to go get it because I was like, thinking it's a piece of scrap metal. I was like, I need to get that out of the road with all these buses coming in here before somebody gets it lodged in their tire. Only to get close to it and realize what it was, and then I picked it up and realized it had the ratchet tail on it. And I was like, huh, that's actually a nice wrench. So I kept it here because I'm thinking, like, we have the county, like, school service trucks and whatnot. Like, there's a service van right there. They're coming in and out of here all the time. And so I was like, somebody dropped it or it fell out of a truck or something. So I'll store it here. And I told my dispatcher, I said, let me know if you hear about anybody from over here losing one. I haven't heard a single darn thing. There's a driver's ed range. So it's been sitting on the bus the entire time, and I'm like, you know what? At this point, I'm probably just gonna keep it. All the driver's ed students, they're headed back up here to get on the buses because it's 2:52. I'm kind of wondering if I can take this and hang it from the visor, because you'll know, I mean, I've taped the visor up because, you know, if it works, don't question it. I did that one day because I needed to tighten these joints because this thing kept falling down and I didn't have any wrenches with me or pliers or anything. So I was like, I just put a piece of duct tape here and I was like, that'll hold it for now and I'll fix it later. And then later came and went, I didn't fix squat, and it's just stayed like that. But you know what, it works. There is a tree branch under the back bumper of that bus. Did y'all see that? I may need to walk back there and go pull that out, or I can tell him. Wiggle in here, that should be 98 right there. Yep. 1298. Why is it 99 is always the one that plays hide and seek with me? Like, the others come and go all the time. I'll see them in and out relentlessly. 99? No. That one is always the one that seems to disappear off the face of the earth. So, let me close these or break my wrist trying. Easy enough. Yeah, I really need to sweep this floor, which I will probably do right after this route. Probably. I'm also kind of wondering, now that I'm sitting here looking at this, how 211 parked crooked. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to following this bus down the interstate though, because she drives so slow. But anyway, that's all I have for this bus vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for when the merch comes out. I'm still working on the website and trying to get everything finessed. But we will have L&D Productions merch coming soon, hopefully. And they are sending me a sample so I can, like, check the quality and whatnot. But once that gets here and I check it, make sure everything's good, then we will probably launch the site. If you have any ideas for a piece of merch you would like, please tell me in the comments. So far we have a selection of t-shirt designs, mugs, coasters, 4 said mugs, and a journal. So let me know what else you might be interested in. A sweatshirt, hoodie, hat, you know, a purse, I don't know, something. Just let me know in the comments if there's a particular thing you want me to design. Other than that, that's all I have for right now. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great day. Try to stay cool, and I'll catch you in the comment section.